The Holy Roman Empire. Everybody knows when it ended, nobody knows when it started. Hello everybody, this is Harmonia Link, and today I wanted to delve into a question that doesn't seem to have an answer everybody agrees upon, that being, who is the first Holy Roman Emperor? Many of you, just by reading the title, probably thought of two monarchs, either Charles the Great, better known as Charlemagne, or Otto the Great. While I think that these two have the strongest claim as being the answer to the question, I would also like to propose more options, just for the fun of it. So, without delaying it further, let's analyze who has a claim to the title of First Holy Roman Emperor. Charlemagne's main claim comes from being the first Roman emperor to be crowned in the West since Romulus Augustulus and Julius Nepos, with the twist of being crowned and acclaimed neither by the Roman Senate nor by any Roman legion, but by the hands of the Pope of Rome. Everybody knows the story. Charles, at the time King of the Franks, decides to go to Rome during Christmas, and while kneeling to pray in the old St. Peter's Basilica, gets crowned by Pope Leo III as Roman Emperor. This, at the time unusual crowning ceremony, with the local patriarch, in this case the Pope of Rome, crowning the Roman Emperor, would then become praxis for the following centuries in the West, with almost all Holy Roman Emperors being crowned by the Pope. Another claim of Charlemagne's is having instituted most imperial administrative, economical and religious practices that would be followed for a good portion of the Holy Roman Empire's existence. I have to say that while we can say that Charlemagne redefined the economical and religious matters in his empire, we cannot say the same about administration. His coinage system was still, even if not identical, used as basis of coin minting up until the French Revolution in most of Western Europe. His will for every church in his empire to have a physical Bible and the clergy to preach and serve according to a set rules would last more than just his reign. But we cannot say the same about the administrative reforms. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, but Link, his administrative reforms did last. Think about the feudal system, the counties and the marches. And yes, you are correct in saying that, but the point is that it wasn't Charlemagne to create that system. Sure, Charlemagne did amplify and polish it a bit, mainly because the need to adapt it to the newly annexed territories such as the land of the Saxons and the kingdom of the Lombards, but this system was already in use during the Merovingian period of the Frankish kingdom, and some say that the Merovingians themselves took this system from a late subdivision of Gaul done by the Western Roman Empire. Otto, emperor from 962 AD to 972 AD and formerly Duke of Saxony and King of East Francia, is the other usual pick for the first Holy Roman Emperor. The main claim of Otto is having defined, at least territorially, what the Holy Roman Empire would look like, defining as the two main parts the Kingdom of Germany, formerly known before him as Kingdom of the Eastern Franks, and the Kingdom of Italy, which was also known as Kingdom of the Lombards. This moved the empire's focus from northern Gaul and Italy to Germany and Italy, leaving aside the ambition of expanding in most of Europe to simply maintaining the borders, while also occasionally conquering lands from France in the west or Slavic tribes in the east. This claim is connected with the next, being that Otto paved the way for the empire to evolve the way it did culturally, being a mainly Germanic empire. Lastly, there is the claim of Otto reforming the administration of the empire into something closer to the conception we have of the Holy Roman Empire than what was present at the time of Charlemagne. This claim can be criticized the same way I did with Charlemagne's, since it was him who created the first stem duchies in Germany. At the same time, there is a difference between the old and the young stem duchies, the latter being the duchies that existed from Otto the Great onwards. Another claim for Otto is having made the empire an elective monarchy, but this claim is debatable since the tradition of elections for a king were already present in the Kingdom of East Francia, but at the same time it was from Otto onwards that this tradition was made mandatory for someone to be acclaimed as King of the Franks, later King of the Romans, which was a required title to be then crowned Emperor. Okay, this might be confusing for many, but hear me out. Technically, both Charlemagne and Otto the Great were only known as Roman emperors, aside of their other titles, and not Holy Roman emperors. The empire itself was just referred in Latin as Imperium or Romanorum Imperium, the former meaning just the empire and the latter Empire of the Romans. It was not until 1157 AD that the adjective sacrum, meaning holy, became official, this in a letter of Emperor Frederick I von Hohenstaufen, better known as Barbarossa, making him the first emperor that ruled over the Sacrum Imperium, the Holy Empire, and since his title was Roman Emperor, one could argue by extension his complete title would be Roman Emperor of the Holy Empire. Not really Holy Roman Emperor, but close enough. The first one to be the actual emperor when the empire went from just Sacrum Imperium or Romanorum Imperium to Sacrum Romanorum Imperium was Henry VII of the House of Luxembourg. He was not the first ruler of the Holy Empire of the Romans, because the term itself was coined in 1254 AD, but at the time the empire was living a period of interregnum, where some rulers with only the title of King of the Romans or of Germany ruled, while Henry VII was the first to be crowned as emperor after the change of name of the state, making him another nominal candidate to the title of First Holy Roman Emperor, or Emperor of the Holy Empire of the Romans. The last possible nominal candidate for the title is Charles IV of the House of Luxembourg, since during his reign the German denomination of the empire was born, that being Heiliges Römisches Reich, which eventually was made into Latin as Sacrum Romanum Imperium, or in English Holy Roman Empire, making him the first Holy Roman Emperor by name, ruling the state that finally took the name we all know. Now, I'm not gonna talk about the other 1,000 naming conventions of this empire, like Holy Roman Empire of the German nation, because that would be unnecessary and would start to get boring. Now that we covered all the possible candidates, let's only take the serious ones and put them in comparison to choose who among these deserves the title of First Holy Roman Emperor. On one side, Charlemagne, on the other, Otto the Great. As points, Charlemagne has being the first to be crowned Roman Emperor in the West after the dissolution of the western part of the Roman Empire, reforming economical and religious matters in a way that would be used as basis by the Holy Roman Empire for almost all its existence, conquering the territories that mostly defined the Holy Roman Empire, being Germany and Northern Italy, and being the first to be crowned by the Pope, making it a mandatory tradition to be respected in order to be recognized as emperor. For Otto, the points are defining territorially the empire, paving the way for making the empire a Germanic one, instituting the young stem duchies of the empire, and introducing to the empire the tradition of electing the king of the Romans, which had to be then crowned by the Pope. While both have strong and debatable points, I myself think that the answer to the question must be Charlemagne. The reason for this is that I think people that say that Otto is the first emperor of the Holy Roman Empire forget that in between Charlemagne and Otto there have been other emperors and not a big century-long interregnum. Even if that was the case, an interregnum is not enough to justify a change of state, since the Holy Roman Empire experienced later on a big interregnum between Frederick II and Charles IV, while also changing name, but not its very essence. Nobody would dare to say that the Holy Roman Empire was a different state before Charles IV and after. The Holy Roman Empire, as all millennia-lasting empires, will eventually see change in culture, territory, traditions and conventions, and in all honesty, I think both Charlemagne and Otto thought the same. After all, they themselves fought to be the emperors of what just was the Roman Empire, simply during another time in which many things changed, for example the religion of the empire. They simply thought themselves as heirs of Augustus or probably even Caesar, and not the founders of something completely new. That said, I would like to know your opinion on this in the comments. Who do you think has the best claim to be the first Holy Roman Emperor? Do you think there are more arguments in favor maybe of Charlemagne or of Otto? Consider helping the channel out by leaving a like and subscribing. Special thanks to my tippers, and see you next time.